Good day everyone. We are here to discuss about the revolutionary government struggles for independence.
Spanish-American War, Spain and United States relationship were becoming bad. Cuban Revolution won the sympathy of the Americans. George Dewey, commander of an American Asiatic squad, appointed to take Manila in case war with Spain would be declared. February 15, 1898, American battleship Maine was blown up at Havana Harbor in Cuba. April 25, 1898, U.S. Congress formally declared war on Spain. On April 21, 1898, the United States declared war against Spain. The cause of the conflict were many, but the immediately ones were American support of Cuba's ongoing struggle against Spanish rule and the mysterious explosion of USS Maine in Havana Harbor. It would be the first overseas war fought by the United States involving campaigns in both Cuba and the Philippine Islands. The Spanish fleet guarding the Philippines was defeated by the U.S. Navy under the command of Commodore George Dewey on May 1, 1898. Ignorant of Dewey's success, President McKinley authorized the assembling of troops in order to mount a campaign against the capital of Manila. The military base best suited at the starting point for troops bound for the Philippines was the Presidio of San Francisco. The majority of the soldiers were volunteers originating from all over the United States, gathering and training at the Presidio before the long sea voyage to the Philippines and their part in a Secretary of State John Hay put in the splendid little war.
The Battle of Manila Bay in 1898, led by Commodore George Dewey and United States, marked a moment in the Spanish-American War, resulting in the defeat of the Spanish. Dewey Victoria played a crucial role in the U.S. of the Philippines and ultimately leading to the end of Spanish colonial rule in the archipelago. General Basilio Agustin, the Spanish Governor General, failed to secure Filipino support against the Americans, as many Filipinos were already discontent and actively seeking independence under leaders like Emilio Aguinaldo. The collaboration between Filipino and American forces further accelerated the end of Spanish rule, formalized in the Treaty of Paris in 1898.
Admiral Patricio Montojo was a career Spanish naval officer who commanded Spanish Pacific Squadron based in the Philippines during the Spanish and American War in September 7, 1839 to September 30, 1917. Considered a man of high ability and experience, he was given the difficult task of defending the Spanish and Philippines with a small navy and low supplies against a large U.S. Asiatic squadron. Despite his valor and determination, Montojo's navy was defeated at the decisive Battle of Manila Bay by U.S. Navy Commodore George Dewey. He was later held accountable for the defeat and was court-martialed in Spain. Although the decision was later overturned, Montojo was still discharged from the Spanish Navy. And on board the Reina Cristina, the Spanish fleet casualties were 167 killed and 214 wounded. The supplies of food were cut, the price of commodities soared high. Manila's push to eat horse flesh and dogs, cats, and rats.
Since 2008, a historical marker planted in the Asian Civilization Museum Green has informed citizens and tourists about Jose Rizal for visit to Singapore. Since 2008, I have wondered if we could propose a second historical marker. Unlike Rizal visit that were stopover in his voyage between Manila and Europe, Emilio Aguinaldo's was not a shopping vacation. U.S. Consul E. Spencer Pratt met with Aguinaldo during his visit and promised him the independence of the Philippines in exchange for his assistance in the war against Spain. Something was obviously lost in the translation. Aguinaldo spoke no English, and Pratt spoke neither Tagalog nor Spanish, so they communicated through a certain Howard Brayu seemed to have misled both sides. The Pinoys remarked that the U.S. consulate was simply furnished and beside a small American flag on Pratt. This they placed a small frame portrait of Aguinaldo.
Hunyo 12, 1898 ng alas 4 o alas 5 ng dapit hapon, ipinoklama ni General Emilio Aguinaldo ang kasarinlan ng Pilipinas mula sa kamay at pamamahala ng Espanya sa kanyang tahanan sa Kawit, Cavite. Bilang bahagi ng pagdiriwang, ipinarinig sa publiko sa kauna-unahang pagkakataon ang komposisyon ni Julian Felipe ng Marcha Nacional Filipino, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas na nooy na isa pa lamang na marcha ay dahil wala pang lyrics. Sa araw na ding na ito ay unang winagayway ang bandila ng Pilipinas na ang disenyo ay hango sa konsepto ng unang Pangulo na si General Emilio Aguinaldo. Ang unang watawat ng Pilipinas ay ginawa sa Hong Kong at ang isa sa mga gumawa nito ay ang tubong taal na si Doña Marcela Agoncillo. At sa tulong ni Delfina Herbosa at ni Lorenzo Agoncillo, ang komposisyon ni Felipe na pinamagatang Marcha Nacional Filipino, mas kilala bilang Himno National Filipino, ay inaprubahan ni Aguinaldo at ng iba pang mga revolusyonaryong pinuno. Noong Hunyo 12, 1878, pagkatapos ng pagbasa ng proklamasyon, ang banda ng San Francisco de Malabon ay tumugtog ng marcha sa kauna-unahang pagkakataon habang itinataas ang watawat ng Pilipinas. The Proclamation on June 12, ang batas ng Deklarasyon ng Kalayaan ay inihanda, isinulat at binasa ni Ambrosio Rosales Bautista sa wikang Espanyol. Ang deklarasyon ay nilagdaan 78 na katao, kabilang sa kanila ang isang opisyal ng United States Army na nakasaksi sa proklamasyon. Ang proklamasyon noong Hunyo 12 ay binago ng isa pang proklamasyon na ginawa sa Malolos, Bulacan sa paggigiit ni Apolinario Mabini, na punong tagapayo ni General Aguinaldo na tumutol sa orihinal na proklamasyon na mahalagang nagbigay sa Pilipinas sa ilalim ng proteksyon ng Estados Unidos.
Si Apolinario Mabini ang nag-advise kay Aguinaldo to issue a subsequent proclamation abolishing and establishing a revolutionary government. Instead, Aguinaldo's title was changed from dictator to the President of the Revolutionary Government and Captain General of its army. According to Mabini, this was done in order to prevent other provinces from viewing Aguinaldo's dictatorial authority with suspicions. Emilio Jacinto, obtained referred to as the brains of the Katipunan, was indeed invited to join the government in Malolos during the First Philippine Republic. However, he declined the invitation, choosing to remain dedicated to the Katipunan and its revolutionary ideals. In April of 1997, after Easter Sunday, President Emilio Aguinaldo is an effort at reconciliation following the ill-fated De Giros Convention gave all cabinet positions in the revolutionary government to the Magdiliwang leaders except that of Secretary of Finance which he reserved for Baldomero Aguinaldo. Then again in his first post-Hong Kong cabinet set up on July 15, 1898, Emilio Aguinaldo designated Baldomero Secretary of War and Republic Works. On January 2, 1899, after 3 weeks before the proclamation of the first President Republic, Aguinaldo formed a new cabinet with Apolinario Mabini as President of Premier. During the Philippines Revolution, Arellano was offered the position of Secretary of Foreign Affairs by President Emilio Aguinaldo on July 15, 1998. But according to Teodoro Ogoncillo, a noted historian, Arenal declined the offer since he was in sympathy with the Americans. Apolinario Mabini took over the said position. July 23, 1898 marks the proclamation of Emilio Aguinaldo as the Chief General, the significant moment in the Philippine history during the struggle for independence. So, kaagad siya nagtalaga ng 14,000 sundalong Pilipino sa pagitan ng mga Espanyol at Amerikano sa labas ng pader ng Maynila. Dumating din ang mga pwersang Amerikano. Si Gen. Thomas Aderson ay nagdala ng 2,500 noong Hunyo 30, Gen. Francis B. Grenay 3,500 noong Hulyo 17 at Gen. Arthur MacArthur 4,800 noong Hulyo 31. Si Gen. Wesley Merritt ay nag-utos ng 10,164 na lalaki at 740 na opisyal. At noong Hunyo 30, Hulyo 3, dumating sa Maynila ang mga tropang Amerikano na pinamumunuan ni General Arthur MacArthur, commander ng militar, at dumaong sa Parañaque ngunit nagkampo sa timog ng Pasay. Ang Belgium consul ay pinadala ni Dewey kay Gobernador Agustin upang makipag-ayos sa kanya.
The governor was ready to surrender, but the Spanish government did not like this. He was relieved and was succeeded by General Fermin Hodins. Hodins believed the Spanish position was very weak, but he could not surrender without being embarrassed. Hodins made a secret deal with Dewey and General Wesley Merritt. August 13, 1898, the mock attack started on the dark and rainy morning. By 5 in the afternoon, surrender negotiations were completed. To stop the Filipino from advancing, ordered Aguinaldo to not enter the walled city. 11:30 a.m., Dewey and Merritt saw a white flag, the city. The Spaniards agreed to surrender on the conditions that the American would safeguard. The surrender of Manila to the Americans signaled the end of the Filipino-American collaboration. May 19, 1899, American troops occupied Jolo. November 1899, all Spanish forces to the south were shipped to Spain.
My name is Brabante Gabriel from BSHM1L at andito ako para talakayin ang Treaty of Paris. October 1, 1898, ang Commissioner ng US na si William R. Day at Don Junio Montero ng Spain ay nagkita sa Paris, France upang gumawa ng kasunduan na itigil na ang digmaang halos tumagal na ng 6 na buwan sa pagitan ng kanilang mga bansa. Ang Amerika ang nanguna sa paggawa ng kasunduan na may pag-ayos sa kadahilan ng ang Europe except England ay nakaramdam ng awa sa Spanish side. December 10, 1898, ang kasunduang napag-usapan sa Paris, France na pinangunahan nila Commissioner William R. Day ng US at Don Junio Montero ng Spain ay napagsundo ang gumawa ng agreement na ang Spain ay kailangan alisin ang kanilang mga sundalo sa Cuba upang malaman na ang bansang ito ay nasakop na ng mga Amerikano. Isa rin sa napagkasunduan na ang Spain ay kailangang sukuan o isuko ang Philippines, Greece at Puerto Rico sa Amerika. Ang US naman ay pumayag na magbigay ng 20 million sa Spain, hindi bilang bayad sa Pilipinas, kundi para bayaran ang Spain para sa mga nagastos ito o utang noong kasagsagan ng digmaan.